Okay, so listen, I want to share something with you that may blow you away. Our grandparents, unhealed wounds passing down to your parents, and your parents pass it down to you, and if you're a parent, you pass it down to them. The belief system, the dysfunctional belief system, mindset. It's no different than the apps on our phones. The apps were pre-installed, designed for that phone. You are also given pre-installed beliefs. And if you're not mindful, some of those beliefs are rooted in dysfunction. I tell you about a story that my mom shared with me earlier this year. We were talking about generational dysfunction. And at this point, I already knew a little bit about my mom's upbringing. My grandfather, her dad, was very dysfunctional. In fact, he's the one who had the vitiligo all over his face, all over his hands, and just everywhere. And he dealt with that. I should say, dealt with it, because if you're not aware of your uniqueness, you have to deal with being different than everyone else, or knowing that you're different. But essentially, we all are different, but we just need to embrace that differences. But anyway, that's a whole nother subject right there. But at that time, my mom was born in 1950. At about 8 or 9 years old, granddad dealing with his issues, mental, emotional, psychological issues, looked my mom in the eye at the age of 8 years old and told her, "You're not my child. You're probably the mailman's child." At 8 years old, obviously, think about that. If you're a parent and you're hearing that from, or if you're a child and you're hearing it from your parent, imagine the psychological, mental, and emotional blow that is to you. Out of anger or insecurities, that statement was made to his daughter. That little girl, after dealing with other abuse from verbal, physical, and witnessing or hearing about the sexual abuse of her older sister by the same man, those beliefs, those pre-installed programmings at such an early age, they never got dealt with. So psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, she's adult now. She's having kids of her own. She never dealt with her own issues. So guess what? The cycle continues. And I found myself inherited, or recognizing that I had inherited some of those dysfunctional mental, emotional beliefs as well. But here's the irony of it all. We often call that trauma. I want to challenge you, as I have already challenged myself, that maybe it wasn't trauma. Maybe it was part of your curriculum. Yeah, I said it, curriculum. No, I know you may not have liked it. I know you may not understood it. But it was an experience. And every experience is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to connect. We can now put ourselves in a position to rewrite that story, putting ourselves back in this space of power by pulling out the wisdom of it. And for my mom, no, this is not a simple thing to do. Well, simple, but not easy to do. But if she becomes a student of her dad and realizing that he was the child of a slave, and his psychological, his mental, his emotional abuse were never dealt with. And so his behavior, the things that he did, the things that he said, had nothing to do with his 8-year-old little girl. Unfortunately, he's not aware that his issues is projecting into his child. So we got to be mindful not to hold our parents accountable or even our grandparents accountable. They didn't have the resources or the awareness that we have. So we must look at the experiences as just what it is, an experience. An experience is the best teacher. So it's safe to say that every experience gives you an opportunity to learn, to grow, to connect. And when you're not looking to learn, by default, you judge, you blame, you criticize. It's the difference between love and fear. Either way, you get to decide. Looking at life as it happening for you, knowledge is power, power is love, or looking at life as it happening to you. When you blame, you stay in survival mode. You judge, you criticize. Living in a space of fear as a victim. So you get to decide. Either way, you're not wrong. But listen, I want you to do yourself a favor. In fact, I want you to do yourself 2 favors. Number 1, life is not happening to you. It truly is happening for you. We've been tricked and deceived that life is happening to us, so we stay in survival mode. But what if you're able to become a student and realizing that life is happening for you? That's what I call the checkmate mindset. More information, hit the link in the bio. Second favor I want you to do for yourself, if you're listening, I want you to treat yourself to a smile today, all right? It turns the light on. I'm the Power Coach Martize. I'll see you in the next video. Let's go.